Are you curious on how to best impress your new boss? Let me give you a few pointers. First, get on your new captain's watch list for a minor infraction. Doesn't need to be all that impressive, just something simple like, I don't know, streaking in the mess hall. Second, call out sick for multiple days. Better yet, don't show up for your second scheduled shift at all. I might have done all three. My first night on the ship, I didn't sleep overly well. First Officer Augie did a quick orientation on ship procedures and safety systems, and since I'm trained on Galactic Standard instead of Terran systems, things took a little longer than usual. I was still able to get to bed early, but the excitement of getting hired and adjusting to artificial gravity meant I tossed and turned a bit. Don't let anyone fool you. Artificial gravity isn't like regular gravity, and you can feel the difference if you're walking around in bare feet like me. It isn't a bad feeling, it's just a gentle pulse you can feel that isn't normal. Not unpleasant, just something it takes a day or two to get used to before it becomes background clutter your brain ignores. When I woke up a bit tired and groggy, I didn't think much of it and spent the morning excited and exploring the ship. We got early clearance to launch, so my morning orientation with Rosa was cancelled in favour of training in the afternoon and early evening. It was just after 10 AM Terran ship time when we launched, and luckily there wasn't anyone near me when I looked out a viewport and got a little choked up about leaving home. About noon ship time, I reported to Rosa for training. "Ah, there you are, Harsha. Welcome to your new home away from home," Rosa said with a firm sense of finality. I hadn't gotten my crew assignment yet, so I felt that thought might be a little premature, but she certainly seemed convinced. "Come with me, please." She brought me to her office, but before I could get a good look at things, she interrupted my attempts to visually snoop. "You see that?" Rosa asked, while pointing to a couch. "I'm assuming you know how to use one of those, but I figured out an optimized configuration for our work today. Please sit down on the end of the couch with your back against the armrest." Slightly bewildered, I did as instructed. As soon as I was seated, Rosa handed me a pillow. "Please place this behind your back to optimize comfort, and let me know if you require a second." I did as ordered. This is good. I don't need a second pillow." "Excellent. You will be reviewing ship maintenance procedures on this datapad, while I will be reviewing maintenance logs and other items requiring my attention. I will be immediately available to answer any questions you might have." She then handed me a datapad, open to the basic Terran FTL maintenance checklist. A moment later, she grabbed a second datapad and came over to the couch. "Lift your legs, please," she said absently, while looking at her datapad. I did so, and she slid under my legs onto the couch next to me. I lowered my legs so they draped across her lap. It was certainly a relaxing and easy first day on the job, and sitting on the couch together made asking questions easy. I did notice that every now and then one of Rosa's hands would absentmindedly drop down and gently scratch the fur on one of my legs, or my belly for a moment, then go back to her datapad. To keep things efficient, she even had sandwiches delivered so we could have dinner on the couch and keep working. All in all, quite a relaxing first day. While it was a good day, I still felt a bit groggy as I headed back to my quarters, and decided to turn in early around 2100 ship time. That was my last clear concept of time for the next few days. The next morning my alarm went off, but I couldn't move to turn it off. I was a lump in the middle of my bed, and the only coherent thought that went through my brain was, "Ugh, I'm sick." Sometime later, I heard something knocking on my door. My brain maintained constant thinking of, I'm sick. Thus, I refused to move or respond in any meaningful way. There was more knocking, and finally someone overrode the lock on my door and entered. "Unholy burnt banana bread and vomit!" Jarl exclaimed, as he entered and saw me. My brain was stuck on, I'm sick. And so I remained a quietly still lump in bed, waiting for my immune system to do its job, or fail miserably. Jar wasn't satisfied with that. He called Dr. Franklin and declared a medical emergency. Sometime between 30 seconds and 5 hours later, the good doctor arrived. He was smart enough to have worn a respirator. He came in and tried to talk to me, and once again my brain defaulted to, I'm sick. I listened to my brain and dutifully ignored all his efforts to speak to me or cooperate with the medical exam. In the end, he took a blood sample and left. Sometime between 30 seconds and I'm sick and don't care later, someone else came in to keep an eye on me, wearing a void suit. Yup, I was smelly. Burnt banana bread and vomit was an amazingly accurate description from Jarl. I smell strong enough that if you stayed in the room with me for more than a moment, you'd want to puke. This was an evolutionary response by my species. When we got sick, we would leave the group and find a nice place to lay down and play dead. This way, we wouldn't spread disease to anyone. For anyone friendly wandering by, the banana bread aspect of the scent declares, I'm not dead yet. The burnt vomit end. Make any predator or scavenger that comes by think we would taste worse than a week-old corpse, and do vile things to their digestive tract. While in a lump, playing dead, our immune system would do its job. Provided the virus hitting us wasn't terrible, we'd be up and about in a few days. No need to eat, move, or poop while things worked through the system. Just lay in a lump and sleep or think, nothing more complicated than, I'm sick. I don't recall much of the next few days, but this is what I do remember. All visitors wore void suits or heavy respirators. Void suits seemed to be preferred. I think Rosa came in to keep an eye on me, and she asked me some engineering questions. When my most coherent answer was, bleh, she gave up and didn't come back again. That said, the majority of the void suits or uniforms worn by people checking on me, I recall having engineer and mechanical team markings on them, and a lot of those folks came in to check on me even if someone else was there. Lynn, the woman who I jumped into the arms of in the mess hall, was in a few times and cradled me in her lap, gently stroking my belly. I remember hearing quiet music while she was there. Joel came in with a portable holoviewer. He had me in his lap while he played various racing games. Augie visited and sat by me once, gently stroking my back. He seemed to talk a lot, but not to me. Being first officer, I guess he is always on call. And Susan? I think she had the night shifts because I just remember her laying down with me, and the two of us curled up together. Finally, things ran their course and my brain informed me it was time to get up. My vision was extremely hazy from all the toxins that are built up in my system, so my first thought was to stumble down the hall to the refresher. It was Giles' turn to keep an eye on me. When I suddenly got up, he gave a startled yelp, followed by the sound of a crash as whatever vehicle he was driving in his game hit a wall and bit the dust. Sorry about that. Going to the refresher, I mumbled, as I staggered out the door and down the hall. Entering the refresher, I went down to the last stall, which was thankfully still configured for my use. Bonus of being the only non-human on board, and the only one who used the galactic standard refresher stall, and definitely handy in moments like this when I really needed to use the refresher. As in, really needed to use it, to clear out all the toxins from the past few days. And so I did. What the? Oh, that's vile, another chimed in. Then I heard two stall doors crashing open, and there was a pair of footsteps leaving the refresher. After clearing out all the toxins, I set my refresher to do a quick scan of my fur, which took less than a minute. I felt glorious. My eyes were crystal clear again, and everything felt right. With a pep in my step, I left the refresher and went out into the hall. Two women were there. One simply looked horrified, while the other looked a little unsteady, with a hand over her mouth. Sorry about that, but I'm all better. I'm going to head to the mess hall for some munches, I said, as I gave them a friendly nod and jogged off to the mess hall, feeling like a brand new girl.